For every mass hero film, the introduction of the hero character plays a huge role. And if that mass hero gets elevation and introduction 4 or 5 times in the same film, backed with scintillating background score and very strong emotions each time, and add that unmatched swagger, all that kid can do is create the biggest earthquake, and that is what KGF is doing. I watched KGF 1 on a small iPad screen because my little one was just born at the time. In fact, I was just checking out the release date. KGF 1 released exactly when my kid was born. So I didn't have much opportunity. I watched KGF in bits and pieces, and each time for me it was fine because it felt like the hero was getting introduced again and again for me, and it perfectly played into how I was watching the movie. But watching it again, watching KGF 2 in theater was completely a full blown experience of seeing that elevation again and again. Essentially, KGF 2 is KGF 1 on steroids. So it's amazing. Prashant Neel just didn't match the expectations. He has exceeded expectations comfortably. He's mastered the art of heroic storytelling with very strong emotional undertone throughout the film. So kudos to Prashant Neel. Yash has now become an epitome of a swagger, extreme swagger. And Rocky Boy certainly looks, acts, and feels indestructible. Now, getting a little more into spoiler review, this movie is an actual sequel from where the first part left off. So the goal of the movie is to draw us immediately into that KGF world, and it did it effortlessly. The recap, in fact, was also done as part of a song in introducing the character to the heroine, so it kind of was gelled into the storytelling. And for someone who probably don't remember KGF 1, that is a good recap. Some of the highlight scenes are obviously the extreme elevations. I just want to call out some scenes where I felt like it came out really, really well. The scene where Rocky goes to the police station just to collect one piece of that gold that the police got in the raid was just awesome, and it was mad swagger, right? Similarly, the scene where Rocky gives it back to Adira, and where and in the end when he kills Guru Pandyan. So these three scenes are really standout scenes. But for me, there's one scene where it felt really powerful, really powerful. When one of the workers' mom, she would cry, and then because her son died and she didn't even get to see him for one last time, and she would say that you can make your own destiny, but you also need prayers and blessings, and that is what a mother can give. If you make me see my son, I will do that for you. And when that happens, you know that it's going to happen. And even as I'm saying it now, I'm just having goosebumps all over my body. The first time I saw it was just extremely good. I've never felt. I mean, normally I do get goosebumps. I do sometimes cry, laugh loud in most movies, but this one was different level. I had goosebumps all over. So definitely the strongest scene for me and more powerful scene for me. So kudos to the veteran Telugu actress Ishwari who played that role. And it goes without saying, this an overdose of style and swagger. But normally when there's overdose of style and swagger, it is not necessarily backed by strong emotions. People don't concentrate on that part of storytelling. But Prashant Neel being a master, it's a style. It's just not style over substance or substance over style. It's just style and substance all in equal doses. So the slick editing kind of makes it even better, and then the impact and the effect of it is felt exponentially. So overall, great teamwork from KGF technicians. And I wanted to also talk about some things that may have been a concern for some folks, but did not necessarily make much was not a much problem for me. was folks thinking that the heroine being kidnapped for entertainment purposes, and probably kind of a Stockholm syndrome where the girl eventually falls in love with the hero. Might Some people might feel it cringy, but I think it is okay because the character is a gangster, and it is within gangsters' behavior to kind of do something like that. So it's, I think, not a big problem. The other thing that I see is a little overblown, could that probably didn't add much and wouldn't have probably made big difference, is the mother character itself, Rocky's mom Shanti. um, there was too much overdose of her suddenly, kind of roaring when it comes to her son, right? She's showcased as a meek person, but anything related to her son, she suddenly, turns into something else, which is okay, and it probably added that strong emotion as to why Rocky is doing what he's doing, but it didn't need to be that way. Even if it didn't happen, it would have been okay. And you saw that in KGF 1, right, where the mother is kind of setting these, life lessons, or informing life lessons to her son. It could have been easily kept that way, and it was still yielded the same outcome. So it didn't make much difference. I'm not completely against it, but it didn't need to be that way. Mm. So yeah, the background score was just too loud. Because the background score was just too loud, I think the even the speaking part had to be, made really loud. So your eardrums for sure will be under severe pressure when you're watching this movie. But that's okay because the movie turns out to be good. But it didn't have to be that loud. Yeah, and seems like sometimes for those stories and subjects where you don't have much substance, you need to kind of take over and instill that experience through loud sound. This movie didn't need that much of a loud sound. It could have been dialed down, really well. Maybe 60% of the sound that is at the loudness would have done even better. It goes without saying that KGF Chapter 2 is a must watch. It will definitely not disappoint any action movie lovers, but even otherwise, I think general movie lovers can also watch it because it does provide for a good cinematic experience.